Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of my makeup tutorials. This is my third makeup tutorial now, and I guess it's kind of like part of a series of people who I'm just super inspired by, and I'm like, oh, I need to do that, and then I make a video out of it. I'm gonna get more into the inspiration in a second, but I just wanted to do a quick introduction. I think I'm getting more of the hang of this now, kind of. Still getting there, but definitely getting I don't even know what I'm saying. If you guys have any recommendations on anything else that you'd want to see me do, or literally just anything, let me know in the comments below, or DM me on one of my social medias. Yeah, that's it. I'll shut up now. I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you. So PJ Harvey is a songwriter and musician from the UK and has been making music since the 90s. Although her music is absolutely incredible, what's really inspired me from her is how she uses makeup and fashion to express herself while also commenting on her hyper-femininity. During the early years of her career, PJ's look in the 90s very much reflected the raw aesthetic of that time within her rock peers, which was very much natural, like no makeup, less is more, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with, but I think PJ Harvey was trying to reject the expectations that were in place for her, just being a rock artist, by saying, be proud of the makeup and clothes that you wear. When she performed at the Glastonbury Festival in 1995, she came out in a bright pink catsuit that she paired with bright blue eyeshadow, dramatic false eyelashes, bold red lipstick, and dark black eyebrows that would become her signature look. I love how she uses makeup as a tool to express herself and doesn't make it seem like she's trying to cover herself up, because it's not about that. For her, it's about taking pride in her femininity and doing what makes her feel comfortable in her own skin, which is exactly what I wanted to emulate here today on Kirsten, a look that basically says everyone should be able to express themselves and whatever they want and not feel go for it. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to go in with the face primer I always use, the Maybelline Skin Perfecting Primer, that's going to blur and control redness on our skin. As we eventually apply the face makeup, you're going to want to use enough to cover the entire face, which will leave it looking illuminated and allow the skin to stay hydrated. Next, using the Inkey Brighten-i cream, I'm just going to apply a small amount under the eyes with my fingers and lightly dab it in onto her skin, which is going to create a priming effect under her eyes and reduce the look of dark circles. Now I'm using Urban Decay's original eyeshadow primer. You can even use concealer as eyeshadow primer if you don't have any, but you just want to make sure you have some type of base on your eyes so the color will stay on for a long time and really intensify the colors we're going to use on her lids. Okay, so for the eyes, I'm first going in with the James Charles palette using the color Brother. So using a medium-sized eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to apply the color all over her entire eyelid, all the way into her crease. You want to keep adding more color, just keep intensifying it and making it look as bold as possible. I also eventually went in with a flat brush to make it easier to add contrast to the shadow once it's been applied all over the lid. The key is just to keep blending the color outward with the medium-sized brush to deepen the color and really make it pop. Okay, so obviously nothing can ever be too colorful, so I went in with the BH Cosmetics Take Me to Brazil palette with that dark blue shade just to add some more like depth and contrast to her eyes. I just stayed in the outer corner and like blended outward with a smaller brush. That's really just going to intensify the color on her eyes. And then of course any fallout can be easily cleaned up and sharpened up with the pointed Q-tip. Okay, so I wanted to add a glossy eye to make the eyes look like wet and even more blue, because I just think that when you add gloss, it intensifies the colors so much and really just adds such a unique look to the eye makeup, especially when paired with glossy lips. I used the Essence Clear Lip Gloss and just applied it with a brush all over her eyes. I would start applying lightly as you go, just so you don't go overboard and make the look so wet it starts to look messy. So once you've applied it all over the eyes, you're just going to wait about 2 minutes for it to dry, and then you'll all be ready to go. Moving on to the face makeup, I'm using Kirsten's face makeup for this. So she uses a CeraVe Hydrating Tinted Sunscreen in the color 30. This is a really good option for a base for face makeup if you're looking for something more lightweight that'll give you good coverage while also protecting from the sun. I'm applying a couple drops in all areas of her face and blending it with a beauty blender to make sure it's applied evenly all over the skin. This shade is a little darker on her, but that's okay because once we apply the bronzer, it'll put it all together. You just want to make sure you blend fully into the neck so the color is applied evenly. For concealer, Kirsten uses Maybelline's Eraser Dark Circle Treatment in the shade 100. This concealer is really good for covering up any imperfections, and the sponge applicator it comes with makes it really easy to apply the product, so then I can just blend it in with a beauty blender and allow it to set into the skin. For contour, I'm going to be using NARS Mini Laguna Getaway Bronzer, and I'm going to be applying it with the Pro Mini 5.5 brush from the Sephora collection. I love this bronzer because it's really long wearing, but it doesn't feel like too thick or heavy on the skin when you've had it on for a long time. You're just going to want to use the brush to continue to blend it into the skin to where the bronzer has completely blended into the face makeup. You're going to want to apply it on your cheekbones, forehead, and jawline to add contrast to your skin and elevate your cheekbones. Next, using the same dark blue color from the BH Cosmetics palette, you're going to use a small eyeshadow brush to bring some color under your eyes, which is going to make your eyes stand out more. I like to start from the outer corner and work your way in so you can control how thick you want it to look. I keep it thin just to keep it from having too much fallout. For blush, I use the Milk Blush Stick in the color Perk by applying it using an It Cosmetics blush brush. You want to apply the color going up into her cheekbones so it'll elevate her face and blend it into the face makeup. Next, I'm using Maybelline's Lash Sensational Mascara to make her eyes look bigger and really darken her eyelashes. I didn't curl her eyelashes because they're already really curled. Otherwise, I'd be using the eyelash curler to help the mascara stay elevated and in place. So when you apply the mascara on other people, I just ask them to keep opening and closing their eyes and keeping the brush in place so it'll basically just do the work for me. Now for highlight, I'm using another Milk Stick in the shade Turn. I'm going to apply it directly onto the tip of her nose, the front lining of her nose, and her cheeks to really illuminate and shine these parts of her face, while also using a blush brush to blend it in onto her cheeks with the blush that's already on her face. Okay, so PJ Harvey always had on dramatic lashes, so I'll be using Ardell's Fall Season the number 817. You're going to want to measure out the eyelash first on your eyes so you can cut some of it off with scissors before applying it so it won't be too long and uncomfortable once you apply it onto your eyes. To glue them on, I'm just using the Kiss Lash Adhesive. I'm going to be using the brush it comes with to apply the glue directly onto the lining of the fake lashes. You want to cover the entire eyelashes with the glue so it'll stay on for a long time. I would usually be using tweezers to apply these, but we didn't have any here, so I just used my fingers. I started applying it in her inner corner and pushing the rest of the eyelash as close to her upper waterline as possible until you've applied it all the way to her outer corner. Hold it in place for like 30 seconds to make sure it's really applied, and the glue should be good. For lips, I'll be using the NYX Retractable Lip Liner in the shade Sienna. I'm going to start off by outlining her entire lip, starting at her cupid's bow and going outward. It's okay to overline your lips because if anything, it's going to make the lips look more dramatic, and that's exactly what we're going for since it perfectly encapsulates how PJ Harvey does her own lips for her makeup. Now for the inner corner, I'll be using Pat McGrath's lipstick in the shade Blood Rush. Apply the color evenly all over the lips. Make sure to blend them out together by pressing your lips together, just to make sure the color is applied in the outer corners of your mouth. I absolutely love this red and I love Pat McGrath, so I was really excited to try this out. And then for the finishing touch, I'll just be adding the same Essence lip gloss all over the lipstick to really intensify the color on her lips and match to her eyes by making them both look wet and really glossy. So now the makeup is finished. Thank y'all so much for watching. This was it for the makeup tutorial, but stay tuned just so you can see the behind the scenes look, see where we went, see how we took pictures, and see what the look ended up looking like at the end of the night. Thank you.